have your fear, which might become reality. And you have Godzilla, which is reality.
I'm sick of Godzilla.
Wake up, everyone!
There are two things you don't know about the Earth. One is me, and the other is Godzilla.
We're safe enough. No human being can understand that. The monsters on Monster Island can understand it.
Whether he returns or not, or is never again seen by human eyes, the things he has taught us remain.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to a very special post gfest edition of YHS on Monster Island. And joining me because, hey, he was at gfest with me. He rode down the road, up the road, along the highways and byways of this great nation of ours. Everybody's favorite kaiju collector, Mr. Ron Wilhelm. How's it going, buddy?
It's going very well, Jay. Thank you for having me. And thank you again for letting me accompany you on the second quest to G-Fest in Chicago, where we threw down and let some friends and family know who Toku Toy Town is. You know?
I love it. Yeah. And hey, you are now a G-Fest veteran.
Yeah.
No more a newbie.
I've earned my stripes now. I've got two. We're going to try to three-peat it, you know?
I know, I act like I've been to like 12. I've been to one more than you. Like literally, this was my third. And we've boothed at the same amount. So I love it. But hey, real quick, before we get into that, I have to say this special episode is brought to you by Kaiju Go, DFW's premier kaiju event. We got films, toys, we got collectibles, we got Sofubi, we got artists, we got special guests. Tickets at kaijugo.com. If you're in the Dallas area, it'll be awesome. And it's kind of crazy. We're almost exactly a month out, like 30 days ish. And it's getting pretty packed. I mean, VIP sold out a long time ago, and let's put it like this. We are almost at where we finished last year, which was a sellout at the Texas Theater. So we're inching closer to selling out the Texas Theater. So if you're listening and you even had just a small inkling of attending the event, please do get those tickets now before they're gone, because there is a limit. I mean, we wish we could sell more, but unfortunately the building only holds so many. There's only so many seats in the theaters. So I'm super excited, and it's so crazy. It is a month away. We will be listening to Mark and Max Nagata talk about their life, their art, what they're doing next. We're going to be watching Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla and Godzilla versus Biollante on the big screen. And, if I know you and I know me, we'll be buying lots of awesome toys, not only for Max Toy, because the rumor is he's going to have both Mark and Max are going to have some one-off custom painted, who knows what, but go ahead and take my money. But we got Magitarius, and we got Plagued Earth, and we got Resin Blood, and we got Dingy Dave, and we got Dirt House Vinyl, and of course we got our boy Michael Morse. And then, we got Matt Frank is going to be there. He's done a few things in this space on the art side. Mike Keller's coming back. So a lot of stuff, and we almost forgot the monster sponsor, the guy that's actually going to have a whole room to himself. We know him as Gary. The world knows him as Toy Matrix, and you can't have a pop culture convention unless he is the first booth that you see. The 5-story tall t-shirt rack, all the great collectibles and toys, Toy Matrix. He's going to be there. It just adds a lot of credibility to the show because he's freaking amazing. And our VIPs, guys, we got some extra cool special stuff that you'll be getting as part of that package. I haven't even announced yet. So that ticket is appreciating in value, I promise. So really looking forward to it. But yeah, thank you to Kaiju Go, Chaz, and myself for we're really excited. It's going to be great, and just wanted to throw that out there.
Kaiju Go 2, guys, August 17th, Saturday. We know nothing else is going on.
Nope.
You're going to come down to the Texas Theater, which is already fun.
Yeah.
We're going to talk kaiju with some of the coolest people, see some of the coolest toys, watch some amazing movies, and just have a great time celebrating Godzilla on his 70th anniversary.
It's nuts. It's nuts. And here's the crazy thing. We were able to chat. We're already starting to plan Kaiju Go 3.
I know.
I mean, that's the cool thing about when people buy your tickets early, and this is any event, not exclusive to us. It's that when you hit to that capacity, it's like, okay, we're doing it again. We're going to do it again. And so we already have some outreach to, it's hard when you have Bob Eggleton and John Yerkeba, and then you follow it up with Mark and Max, like where, there's only a few artists that can kind of hold that level. And luckily we know a few. And so I know, right. So we will be talking to them and hopefully can get them to join us next year. So it'll be super fun. I'm excited.
Yes. I'm excited, man. I mean, that's kind of what we do though, right? Like we try to set things up to where it's like, what are we doing? This is crazy. And then we knock that down and try to build it up even higher.
Yeah.
And just bring the community with us. And that's what it's all about.
Build that community. And we hope that everybody enjoys it, and they've been great. And we think it's going to be a great event. I have a question for you though. So we just got done with G-Fest. We got back like late Monday night. How are you feeling? Have you come down from it? Have you been able to process and digest and go through it, or is it like you're waking up and like heading down to the grab and go to get your coffee and your breakfast sandwich from the bottom of the Hyatt Regency?
Yeah, man, I still feel like I'm running. If I'm being honest, it's still just go. And I hope nobody from work is watching this. Actually, I hope they are, right? But no, really though, it's been a rough couple days, but. Like in terms of just sheer excitement, I thought nothing could top G-Fest 1. Yeah. And maybe G-Fest 2, for me, that's what I'm calling them, right? G-Fest 1 and 2.
I love it. No, I love it.
But G-Fest 2 did that and then some. And it was just a really rewarding experience to be a part of because so many new people came up to our booth and said, hey guys, I'm new to this and like this stuff is so awesome. And they wanted to just talk about it and share it. And that was really cool. And we saw a bunch of familiar friends that we met last year. And people that we've known even longer than that. And I'm still on that G-Fest post-buzz for sure.
Well, it's funny, because we and this is a great place to start. We chatted on the drive up and even a couple of days before about, a lot of the folks that I know you were eager to meet last year, and I was eager as well, but people that you're really close to online and you do help out in their show at Collect All Monsters. They were all there last year. You got to meet them all. And, for this or the other reason, a lot of them weren't able to clear the schedules to make it, and which is cool. Hopefully they'll be back next year. And it was weird because that's who, you were really focused on meeting last year, and it was really cool to see them. And then some other people that we usually hang out with, for whatever reason it may be, weren't able to attend. And we're like, oh, wow, it's going to be interesting. But then what happened was a lot of the people that we knew a little bit, we got to hang out with more. We got to see more. We got to talk to more. And people that maybe we've talked to online and we've never met in person. Like it's just like, the cup always gets filled up with more and more awesome Godzilla fans, and you just it never ends, and it's great. And honestly, like I agree with you. This year was like even more fun, and I think it has to do with the fact that, and I don't want to by any means forget to mention this. There were 10,000 people there.
It was insane.
So like, even though last year was one of the biggest, maybe the biggest one ever, this one went over that. So there were just a lot more people to talk to, and a lot more people making their first trip. And it was so cool. It was so awesome that here we are, only 3 years removed from, coming back from a pandemic, and we have 10,000 people outgrowing a giant convention size hotel.
Massive.
Yeah. I mean, and that's with 2 dealer rooms now, and it's still going above that. It was crazy. It was so awesome. And I had a feeling, we heard rumblings that it was going to be, we did 100%. But we heard the numbers. Hey, it's going to be big. It's going to be big. It's going to be big. Even months ago, we were getting stuff from, as vendors, we're getting some notes from the G-Fest leadership about, hey, like, make sure you get your tickets in and your stuff, because like we're worried about capacity. I'm like, oh yeah, whatever. But then we think like you've had a major Hollywood movie that was beyond successful. You had a Japanese movie that comes over here and is high critical acclaim and just both re-energize different areas of the fan base. You have an Apple TV series featuring A-list celebrities and just like, for whatever, if you like it or dislike it, a lot of eyeballs were on it, and then tons of toys and everything going out. Like, it makes sense. I mean, it was the biggest year for Godzilla, the biggest 12-month period for Godzilla probably ever.
Yeah.
And it showed.
Definitely argue that.
especially for America, right? I mean, like,
Yeah.
because 2 of those things were American productions. So it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
And it was nuts.
Talk about leveling up, you know?
Yeah. And like, I mean, G-Fest is becoming just so big and also encompassing. I think this year also we saw more, at least I felt this way. I saw more not only cosplays and people and things having to do with kind of the overall Tokusatsu world, not just kaiju, but within the Henshin heroes. I saw more Ultraman. Subaraya had a person there. I saw more everything from Mirror Man to Zone Fighter to Spectre Man, you know, you name it. There was stuff there, people talking about that, panels about it. So it's just everything was growing. And that's really.
I saw Kamen Rider.
Shin Kamen Rider. Hey, Ryan, have you seen Shin Kamen Rider?
Man, like
we've done a video on it
7 times. I mean, it's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah,
I love you, brother. You got to watch it.
And if you hear what Ryan think, if you want to hear what he thinks about it, just go check it out in our list of videos. It's there.
That's true. It's there. Yeah.
So we get there, and you know, I don't want to bore everybody the details, but you know, we had the nice drive from Dallas up to Chicago, which we knock out in a day. No major stuff, no flat tires, nothing crazy, at least that I can remember. All the stuff made it, which was awesome. And then for those not, you know, that do go to G-Fest and don't vend, or folks have never been to G-Fest, you know, we get there and basically early-ish Thursday morning, it's like setup day. And for those that haven't done that before, it always looks, and you think it's easier. So you put some tables, some cloths, and some shelves, and it's an ordeal, man. And you know, I don't want to get into the details, but we had a little snafu early on. Some people
bump in the road.
I know, a little bump in the road that we were able to navigate regarding the layout of our booth. But you know, we had to show them that we didn't take up any more footprint. We were trying to do things a little differently, trying to create
artistic.
A little more artistic and do some things, and it worked out beautifully. We had to ended up having a little bit less space to, you know, we tried to do a little give and take, and which was fine. We adjusted the initial layout, which, you know, we had already done like on schematics and stuff. It was all done. Of course, I should have known. What a waste of time, because you're going to get there, it's going to be a cluster. But we had to, you know, rejigger a few things, and we made it work. And we had the help of Ryan Radke, who came up and helped us this year. Young Ryan, as we call him. Yeah. And we could have done it without him. I know, man. We could have done it without him. And it was so cool. And he helped us out every day. I mean, I was like, help us out, you know, just setting up.
And then he was like, I'm coming the next day. And then, hey, dude, I'm working set. And then he was like, hey, it might be Sunday. I'm not sure. My dude showed up and helped us out.
Whole day. Yeah. No, Ryan, I don't know if you listen to the show, but thank you.
Thank you, dude.
Like, not only could we not set up, we couldn't have run the show as seamlessly, because the one thing we forgot about is the booth is big, and it's almost like you have to have people on different sides of it to answer questions and help people pay, so they don't have to go back against traffic. You know, there's some things that we can work out, but overall it was really cool. And, you know, I think that Thursday is so tiring because you're just working for 12 hours nonstop setting that up. And our booth is one of the more intricate ones. I think it probably takes a little bit longer to set up. Not as much as like a Toy Matrix or some of those guys, but it was still a big lift. And it's like all you want to do after that is go out, have a drink, whether it's alcoholic or not, with friends. And that's exactly what we did. And it was so good catching up with all of our best buddies. We got, of course, Sweaty Vinyl, Michael at Sweaty Vinyl, following biggest collection in the world. It's just ridiculous. We mentioned him on the show so much. And of course, Jess, we love you at Red Robot Stings. Oh, there you go. At Red Robot Stings. Go check out Jess's Instagram. She also has a gigantic collection of stuff. They're so cool. And then we have Triple L, Larry Latham, who we hang out with. And Larry, you probably guys know him from he's very active in like a lot of the groups on Facebook. He's a super collector as well. And we always joke about Larry because he collects everything from blind boxes to like really, really, you know, designer toys, like everything in between, and is equally excited about all of them. And I wish every collector's like Larry. And then of course, our good buddy Adam from Thirsty Thursday Toys. We've mentioned him on here many times. He's done the Showa Down Spectacular. He's just a good dude. We'll talk about him a little bit more in a bit because it ties into our pickups, which is great. And just so many other great people that it's just so it's just so fun to hang out with.
Honestly, man, it beats any collectible you can bring home. Just the memories and time. It sounds cliche, but it is so true. The memories, time, and conversations had with your friends at G-Fest are priceless. And it's now the second year I've gotten to do that, and I will definitely die on that hill and say that that's the reason why you should go, even if you're not that active in social media, even if you're a new Godzilla fan, or you're an old Godzilla fan who's getting back into it, and you think, well, I don't know anybody. None of that matters at G-Fest. Just come, hang out, get in the car, get in the plane, whatever you got to do, you know?
Yeah.
It's worth it.
And it was cool because we had one of the nights, I guess it was technically, was that Thursday or Friday? I think it was Friday. No, or was it Thursday? When we had Chris. Yeah. He's on Instagram as Creature Feature, does a lot. He's a really cool dude. You know, he didn't know a lot of people. It's his first G-Fest. He hung out with us everybody's so warm and welcoming. And it was really cool. And we, people are like, well, you know what? You said this last year in your G-Fest recap. But here's the thing. It was a different set of people. It was different conversations, and it was equally as good, if not better. So it just shows to show it wasn't like last year we caught it right in the sweet spot and had this amazing time. Like it's every year we highly, highly, highly encourage people to go. And then the other thing I wanted to get your opinion on. So I thought this was cool. So we know that, and we won't get into all the details, but there was a little bit of traction amongst a lot of Godzilla creators and YouTubers and podcasters and everything about the videos that I think Kaiju Kim was the first to drop that, which were just about some kind of not good stuff, really not good stuff that was happening in the Godzilla fandom. And of course, you know how that goes on the internet, right? And everybody takes it the wrong way or the right way, and they get mad and they get, whatever. And at the end of the day, like, the good news is Kaiju Kim is awesome. And she, I think, raised a lot of awareness to stuff, which was great. And then I know, we're not going to comment on everybody else's stuff and all the specifics, but I thought it was what I really did for the first time, pay attention to a lot of how people were interacting with each other more so than I ever have. So right there, what Kaiju Kim did was a win. Because, here I am, straight white guy, right? The not part of any historically marginalized community at all. So I, come to this from a place of privilege that, I didn't earn, just who I am. And it made me start looking for that. Because, I've always been lucky. We've insulated ourselves in a friend bubble that I think we've vetted and are awesome. And I would trust all of them to the ends of the earth, but that's not always the case. So I kept my eyes open for it when things were kind of unusual. And barring one thing we saw from the balcony, which was just crazy, when that random person, we don't know if it was a Godzilla fan or whatever, started screaming at people and then ran off. I didn't see anything that even remotely resembled harassment or bullying, anything like that. So I was curious if you saw the same thing and felt that kind of, but I was very positive.
Yeah. So I too kept my eyes open for it, because before, I know that some people were definitely posting videos, and I wanted to try to do whatever part I could and just see, like, all right, well, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be a voice and just, let people know it's not acceptable. And aside from that one crazy person that we saw super late at night downstairs,
I think we sold him a toy. I really do. I think we sold him a toy earlier that day. Maybe he was mad at our prices. I don't know.
He did look kind of familiar, which isn't always the best thing, right? It's like, how do I know this person? But they took off, man. And then after that, it was just peace, love, and kaiju again, so. Yeah,
and it was cool. I got to see Kaiju Kim. I talked to her a couple of times, and she was really disheartened, and rightfully so. And she was like, I don't think I'm gonna come back to G-Fest. And it was she was walking around with a big smile on her face. I asked her about everything, and she was like, yeah, people have come up and have been beyond cordial and thankful. And there were some, they're her stories to tell, but there were a lot of people that were really affected by it in a positive way. So that was cool to see her. Yeah. And that was cool to see all of her feedback after the show. And she does want to come back. And I think there are good people. You find the good people, you find the helpers, and you ignore the rest, you don't get yourself involved with the rest the best that you can, and let's rock and roll. So that was cool to see that, and hopefully we can see Kaiju Kim next year.
Exactly. And everybody, man, broken record, but if you didn't make it this year, we get it. We want to see you next year, right?
Yeah, you better. The other thing that the one kind of negative to being a vendor at G-Fest is you miss a lot of stuff.
It's true.
You miss all the panels, which stinks because there's some really good panels. Not all of them I'd want to go to because, there's a reason there's like 300 of them or something. And Danny DeManna is on all of them.
Hey, shout out though. That can't be easy.
No, man, that guy looks like he just run ragged because he's on, leading panels. But there were some really cool ones. A writers panel, a lot of deep dives and very specific things, some really cool stuff and really good, talented, smart people that are part of them. But we miss all of that. So we love after the show ends to hear kind of the feedback on some of the panels and stuff from either the panelists or people that went to it. That's a negative. I do wish someday that we would, be able to do that, but they did solve one problem and I wasn't able to take advantage of it just because I wasn't prepared, but a lot of people were, is, we also as vendors miss out on all the autographs.
It's true.
And, I'd love to get a Yumiko Shaku autograph last year, but we just couldn't leave. And so they opened up a special time on Sunday for a lot of the folks that were vending to get their autographs from Ryota and all the other Alan Henry and everybody, which was really cool. We didn't need to get an Alan Henry one because freaking King Kong came to our booth when we were setting up. I was like, here's this like giant dude. I'm like, can you help carry some boxes in here, brother? Come on now. But what a nice human being.
I mean, 10 out of 10. He just came right up to me and was like, hey, man. And I was like, oh my, I'm Wilhelm. Hi, dude, Kong. Yes, this is amazing. I mean, he was so cool.
And he read stories to children. And he read stories to children. I mean, Jessica is the best. Anybody who goes to G-Fest, you'll meet Jessica Atchell. She's the best. Yeah. She's kind of a handler to a lot of the celebrities that come through that agency, and they're lucky to have her.
10 out of 10 as well. They're just awesome people, bringing amazing people to these shows.
Yeah.
So that people like us can be like, "Oh my God, you're the and look like idiots," So it's fun.
That's fun. But we do our best, and of course, the other thing is we're so tired. We miss out a lot. Like we can't stay up until like a 10:30, 11 p.m. start time for these shows at the Pickwick. And I heard that like people were turned away, like it was the line, and which makes sense.
Sellout after sellout after sellout, and we're talking anniversary movies, right? So Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla, Final Wars even sold out, I'm told, which is crazy.
And then New Empire, I heard, just was like, I imagine going to like a midnight showing of Rocky Horror Picture Show, right? There was like everybody was commenting and doing things like in unison, during that whole thing, which is hilarious and awesome. And that's
which I have done. And it is a lot of fun. And I can only imagine Godzilla and Kong in that like kind of environment.
Yeah. I mean, that's how you enjoy that movie. For those that know, I'm sure it was a really just kind of raucous experience. But so it does stink. It's not all unicorns and rainbows for us on the vending side, but the cool thing is there were a lot of other people that got to enjoy it. So
it's true.
Then let's talk about what I think is the main event, is like the vendor rooms, the dealer rooms. We had to step up our game, but what I thought was really cool was almost every other dealer that we saw also stepped up their game. There was some great stuff this year, better than last year.
It was insane. And like you said, you stepped up Toku Toy Town big time. So of course I had to pick up some stuff while I was working, which is terrible, but like made it work. But also man, there was some stuff that I thought to myself, well, I didn't see this last year. So if I see it this year, I'm jumping on it. And those were some of the first things that I saw this year. It's just pretty insane,
Yeah. It's a dangerous thing to have when you're at a convention. You find this stuff early on, because then you can always, if you have more time, you can talk yourself into buying more stuff, as opposed to like, I'm gonna wait, and you finally get it, and then it's like, okay, the convention's over, I can't spend anymore. So you finding it early is not always a good thing. But so when there was 2 dealer rooms this year, and I know technically it wasn't split out artists and collectible merchandise dealers, but it kind of was, because in that other room was Bob Eggleton and Matt Frank. And from everything that we heard, there was a line the whole time, and they did really well. So great, wonderful. I didn't get a chance to go in there and see any of them, but it was a lot of the same people that were there last year, but I heard it was a huge success. But in our room, what was nuts was there was the typical line, right? That people that sleep overnight, camp out to be first in line to the dealer room. That line was super long. And I think they said it went about 1,000 deep.
No, it was, guys, like, it was insane.
And it never stopped.
I walked out and filmed it.
Yeah.
And it went all the way. I know this doesn't make reference to you if you haven't been, but it went all the way down the main lobby hall, turned the corner, and went all the way into the Starbucks that's there, which is to the other side of the building.
Yeah,
Like,
this is a big
it's
hotel.
crazy.
And what was nuts is it never stopped. Like, so if you went in the dealer room and let's say you waited an hour to get in and you went in there, you spent an hour, you bought some stuff. And if you wanted to come back in the afternoon on Friday at 3:00, let's say, it was still another hour to get in. It never stopped. The line, because of how they were staggering people in there from fire code or whatever the reason was, there was just a steady flow of people. There was a little dip over lunchtime, but other than that, it was insane. Saturday was pretty active in the morning. I think the afternoon it lightened up a little bit, but it was still pretty crazy. I mean, we're talking hour waits to get into the dealer room. So if people are going to wait an hour to see our stuff, we better bring it, because I don't want them to go, hey, I went in there and there was crap, right? Or stuff I can get at Target, So we had to make sure that we brought it. And like I said, everybody did. And I think it starts when you talk about the dealer room at G-Fest and you're going to your first G-Fest, the first place you run to, the first place that you hit up are, we call them the triumvirate over there, the three great companies from Japan that come over, and they're on their booth right next to each other, which is Marusan, which is M1, and US Toys. Like, you go to that booth, see what they have, and buy as much as you can carry and can afford. Because
that's exactly what I do.
It's great. I mean, it's cool because you never know. Like, I think you can figure out what Marusan's going to bring because they do so many shows in the US too. And like, we knew he was going to be heavy with Maruman because he wrote the book. He has a lot of stuff coming out, and he announced a lot of stuff. Kaminaga-san, totally, like, he lets us know, right? So, like, that one wasn't a surprise. It was very heavy. Maruman, a little bit of Subaraya. There was the Balton 450, which is a beautiful piece. Hopefully some people picked that up. Yeah. But it was heavy Maruman, which is really cool. His kind of Pachi stuff that came out in the 70s. And then, of course, he's basically made it into its own world. That was great. But M1 and US Toys, you have no idea. Like, I mean, US Toys, it looks like he just probably grabs a big bin of, I'll bring these today. And they're all awesome. But it's all a crapshoot. And I say that there's no risk. It's always good. It's just like, is it going to be good what you want, or is it going to be good what you don't want, but you'll still buy it? And then M1, Yuji Nishimura will just bring whatever the heck he wants. And so, you're going to get some trikes and cool stuff. So I wanted to get your thoughts. What were your thoughts this year on what I think, like I said, are the real stars of the show, or at least the ones that should bring the people in? And if you haven't gone to G-Fest before, it's the coolest thing to see them there vending.
So it's literally the second, again, broken record, second G-Fest. First year, I ran over there. I told Jay, like, I have to. Second year, Jay was just like, come back the second people come in. I'm like, I'll be there, I promise. I ran over. So, yeah, hit up Marusan. Got a couple finger puppets, right? These are insanely cool. Got some
These
more.
These were blind bags, right? Were they blind?
They were. They came in these little wrappers, and you had to, like, dig your hand down in and grab them. So you had really no clue. They would allow you to stand there for a minute and try to gather it, but, short window, right? So it's just like, give me these. I got to go. I got to go to US Toys, where, as Jay was mentioning, I got an old school gem.
Oh, that one's so cool. Gold
Mecha Godzilla, right? But, dude, you were saying that, like, you never know. This piece came from 2010, dude.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
They brought old school stuff. They brought some old stuff. I saw some, I think, that were from like Tokusatsu DNA exclusives from like 2017 or something. Like
this is 14 years old. Like I've wanted this for a hot minute, and boom, G-Fest magic. There it is.
I was able to snag from US Toys. That was my first purchase, actually. Even before M1, I got this amazing Pink Daigen. Love this guy.
That's so great.
Yeah, and then I got this really cool Barugan. And I thought it's cool, and it has a kind of a subtle kind of like rainbowy type pattern on the back, but I thought it looked really cool. So I love these, dude. Yeah, like these guys are gonna fight each other here, but a lot of horns here, a lot of horns and spikes.
Same. But, horns and spikes. US Toys this year.
And then, so what did you get from M1?
So M1 to me is the Super Bowl. They're the reason why I go as a collector to G-Fest, because I know it's an opportunity to speak with them again in person. Like, they truly mean that much to me that I want to give them a hug and say thank you for everything. And like, it was cool this year. It was really well received, and I didn't embarrass myself. So that's amazing. But I got 2 trikes. I got fake Godzilla, aka Mecha Godzilla.
Oh, I got him as well. Look at that. We should race them.
Guys, this sold out like stupid fast. I mean, I expected it to, but they made it to where it was 1 per person, which is totally fair.
Yeah.
And it was insanely reasonably priced. And this was the collectible that I needed to leave G-Fest with, and I was able to. So I'm incredibly thankful for that. But I also went ahead and picked up Godzilla to go with them, right? So, like, you know.
Now you got to definitely race them.
They got to race.
Yeah.
And, you know, Marusan didn't have it, right? But this was on my hit list of things that if I saw it, I really wanted to pick this up. So Toku Toy Town came through, and I got this cute little Shin.
I love that guy.
Kamado-kun, right? Form 2. I mean, this is just... The Sun Guts is amazing. However, this might have...
A little bit different scale. A little bit different scale. And they look very different. And, you know, I know you're going to pick up that 4th form that comes out, so you kind of have to have this.
Got you. And then the 3rd is inevitable. I collect Shin Godzillas. I can't help it, man.
And we brought a handful of those, and they all sold out. Like, I mean, everybody liked them. You weren't the only one.
And I waited until the last one, might I add, right? I let everybody else get a fair shake, you know. So
hey, we did really good not selling to as many vendors this year.
Yeah.
But and other folks on that Thursday. So like everything that we advertised we would have, like we didn't like sell out early. So I forgot, actually, you know, I did have something from Marusan. But it was a gift from our good buddy Thirsty Thursday Adam. He's gonna get a couple call outs because we still have
he's the man.
But and he was going for all the gotcha grab bags and everything at Marusan. So I got the little I forget what they named it. Like, it's not, I know Giant Gorilla was the Kong one. I don't know what they called this one for Marmon, this little guy. Do you remember what
No, I forget his name too. I know the Giant Gorilla, but yeah.
But this guy is a giant gorilla. Yeah, he's a small giant. He's a small big gorilla. But it's really cool. So I forgot got this guy too. But M1, I got the trike as well. And then that was all that I was able to get. I love the Baragon. I just, like I said, I didn't have time to go back over there and get it. But we booth next to Linda Conrad and Chibi Goji Toys. You know, Linda's the OG. She's, you know, a lot of us wouldn't be collecting without her, like what she's done, bringing cool toys over. And Linda's just amazing. I hope we always vend next to her. But our good buddy Sweaty Vinyl works her booth with her, and he comes back with M1, and of course he has this amazing mini. And I was like, oh my gosh, like whatever. And I ran over there to get it, and it was sold out. And I'm like, I hate you. But luckily we were able to make a trade later. So I was able to get this awesome from M1, this amazing mini Gezera.
Yes.
Look at the paint on this. I love it. And you know, I love Gezera. I love Space Amoeba.
Yeah.
So cool. So cool. The colorway is brilliant. Just absolutely. It's funny, like this might have been my favorite G-Fest pickup at the time when I had this. We did top it a little bit later, and we'll talk about that one in a bit. But from a licensed kaiju that is actually one that exists in film or whatever, this one might be my favorite pickup. I absolutely adore this.
I saw when they were putting those on the table, and I had already made my purchase, and I was like, crap, I can't go back in line because, again, there was a line of people.
And it was $30. That's all it was. It was $30.
And they're the best, guys. Again, go to G-Fest, run over to M1 and US Toys, and thank us later, right? Because, dude.
Yeah. Well, just follow the line where everybody else is running. I mean, it's not hard.
Well, and then it'll come over to Linda's table, and then it'll bleed into ours, and you'll find all the awesome stuff.
Yeah. So what else? What was the next vendor that you hit up after those guys that you got something from?
So then I immediately went to Linda's table. And the second I was just greeting them, she was putting up a Marmot 14-inch Space Titanium Mecha Godzilla. If you guys know me at all or know my ramblings, that was one of the first films I saw when I was a young one. And Mecha Godzilla is hands down one of my favorite kaijus. It's why I'm obsessed with mecha robots and all kinds of stuff like that. Anyway, she let me get first crack at it, and Yeah, man, this is
It's
like not
beautiful.
only my favorite G-Fest purchase, hands down, but like I'm so lucky to have this. And
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. Just the memories made with friends and dude,
so
I
awesome. I mean,
mean, well,
it's
anniversary
gorgeous.
year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's gorgeous and it's huge.
it's huge.
It's very big. It's that is one of the coolest pieces I saw, and the whole vendors room. Like it really was that cool. I mean, look at
Yeah,
that.
like, you know, it's
He could put a finger puppet on him.
yeah, you really could.
Yeah,
I love this.
Linda had a great table, lots of stuff, and very different than her assortment last year. That's what was really cool. And last year she was really heavy on a lot of Metacom stuff. This year a lot of CCP, a lot of Gigabrain, a lot of Marusan. And speaking of their Marusan stuff, when she brings stuff, she
Dude.
doesn't bring anything that comes out like came out recently. She brings like old school stuff. In fact, my pickup from her, my initial pickup
Yeah.
was I have a lot of Marusan and I always wanted one of their 64s. I do like their 64 sculpt.
Yeah.
And I just don't have a 64 from Marusan. And so I was able to get one of the ones from I think 2003. And this was one of the event exclusives. I want to say Superfest, maybe Wonderfest. I can't remember, or WonderCon back then. But I got this gray 64 Marusan, which I absolutely love. I had the 55 of this that came with the Anguirus and had the Anguirus as well. I just don't love their 55 sculpt as much as I love their 64. And like I said, they don't do any 64s anymore. Like you never see them do it. So you have to go throwback. And Linda had it. Of course she did. Along with like 12 other 64s from that or whatever. But so I was able to snag this from her. I was very excited. And I know most people are usually like used to me getting like really bright things, but I do have a nice collection of like these cooler colors. And this is one that I was really excited to have and put on one of my miscellaneous Marusan Godzilla shelves. Not an 89. It goes on one of the other ones.
It was definitely a moment when that figure came out. We were both like,
whoa.
Dude. Like, it's just that G-Fest magic, man,
I know. Well, that's also like another side benefit other than we love Linda.
Yes.
I like being because you just once again, like M1, you never know what she's gonna pull out of that bag in those bins. And it's like, what? So it's nice to be closer. You're usually the first one to see it.
Exactly.
Dibs. So what was the next thing that you bought? What was where did we go? Let's kind of navigate through the vendor room. What else did you get?
We're gonna cruise to Enraku and Sakuville.
Oh.
And I was a bad collector. And I made a purchase before G-Fest.
Oh, you did? Yes, I'm aware of this one. Yes.
So shout out to our buddy Eric Stolp. He said he had a Burning Godzilla for sale, and I was like, "Well, that's cool. I like Burning Godzilla quite a lot." But as you can tell, friends and family, this is a golden glitter variant.
It's one of the best they have. Oh, it's so beautiful.
I mean, the eyes are unreal, but yeah, like there's glitter all throughout this beast.
Yeah.
And it's translucent and it's amazing.
It's one of my favorite pieces. And it's truly one that actually is way better in person than it is
way better in person.
In photographs and video and everything. It truly is. It's hard to explain. I was so glad to be able to get one back, even though I got that nasty gram from eBay about it. But it is beautiful. And hey, we'll give Beast of the East because Eric Bearded Kaiju Reviews. Yeah, Bearded Kaiju Reviews. They helped work that booth, which was directly across from us. And I like to say, like, what we bring our niche for Sofubi in the vendor hall, they are for Bandai because they are a one-stop shop. They have 6 tables. It's really well curated. It's not, just dumping bins on the table. They have it. It's the most. Them and Radioactive Toys have the most Bandai I've ever seen in any place ever. And they were great. They had a huge line in all of their little alcoves that you could check out in the whole weekend. So Eric and Joe and Adrian, all those guys that helped the Beast of the East crew out. We love those guys. They did great, and we'll chuck that on Raku up to them. I think so. I think Eric can get that credit.
100%. Like they had such a great operation. Running such a massive table like that is incredibly taxing, I'm sure. And they make it look easy, right? And part of the reason why we talked about leveling up so much too was because of their amazing setup. And so just want to give shout out
volume. Just the sheer volume they have to bring. It's really cool. It is if you're a Bandai collector and you are active in collecting, it could make you have a heart attack. It's that big and good.
There's
it really
so
is.
much stuff, dude.
Oh my gosh. It is overwhelming. Like all I do is I'm like, I don't ever want to go back collecting Bandai again, because when I go to G-Fest, I'll flip out. I mean,
I'll buy everything.
You walk in
Yeah.
and like each of those little alcoves have like, it's hard to explain, but they have like almost like a little like a U shape over you, I forget what, like they have like Bandai hanging from everywhere. Like you walk into it, it's like you're in a cave of Bandai, just dangling down. The stalactites and everything are Bandai, and you're just surrounded by it. It is
Ghidra's everywhere.
I know, it is full sensory overload.
Yeah,
but it's so cool, and I can only imagine. And we try to bring that similar feeling the best that we can with Sofubi. Maybe not totally engulf them in product, because I don't think we can do that, because our usually a little bit bigger, but they do create. Once again, it's about the experience, and you don't confuse
100%.
the Beast of the East table with anybody else's.
No.
I think that's a win, and so they do a great job.
Yeah, man, 100%. And that was our goal as well. We just wanted to make sure that A, the experience matched with our intention.
Yeah.
And B, you saw some really cool, rare stuff, which the theme of this is 100% leveling up. And I mean, we had Pilot Ace, Marmot, Neo Player One, Sarge Arushi. I mean, like, we had some serious heavy hitters, and it was just fun to talk to people about that stuff.
Yeah, it really was. I think, not to go too deep into our booth, because I know we have some other pickups, but I think one of the cool things was what we bring, like what doesn't sell that we think is going to be a no-brainer, and what does sell. It was crazy. I mean, there was one on Raku and Saku that we brought a lot of, and they sold out very quickly. Yeah. I know you're very aware of that one, but it was funny because we had some people that were super collectors, but they weren't like huge Sofubi folks that were buying like really good pieces, whether it's Sarujarushi or, we sold a lot and talked a lot about Max Toy, and, especially their Toho stuff, which is a little bit harder to get, meaning like it's not as accessible because they don't have the license here domestically, which was really cool. We talked a lot about Neo Player One and some of the Marmots that we had. We had by far, I think, the largest set of Marmot toys there, which was great, and really cool vintage stuff. So it was just really cool to have these conversations. Heck, we even had some folks that were coming, and we had a little section of kind of designer vinyl toys from a lot of indie toy producers like Galaxor and Spumoni and Chaz, our good buddy Chaz Foreman at Chaz Pro. I know. So we had some of those that were selling, and we even dabbled in some X Plus, that is not our strength. That is the Vampire Robots of the world and House of Monsters. They do that way better than us. Yeah. And we were able to do that and have just some fun conversation. So it's about diversity of collection and or of inventory, but it was nuts. I mean, we had some Shin Godzilla purses that were the most requested thing, and I was like, okay, we brought a ton. These whatever will be great, and everybody seemed to love those. So that was really really cool. And then of course we had a Marusan tower, if you will, of 99s and 89s and stuff that looked really cool. And we were able to sell a lot of those. People loved the Dark Sparkle, which I personally love as well. And we sold a ton of really cool Auroras. We had a lot of Auroras. Aurora's in, man. I think it's the thing this year. It's the thing. And it's been the thing for a lot of years, but especially this year. So we had a lot of really cool stuff there. And yeah, it was just like I said, it was super fun talking about all the different kind of clusters of product that, maybe other folks that wasn't their strength, they didn't bring a ton of, that we did.
100%.
So what was next with you after you got all your stuff? You picked up your stuff from Eric. You got your M1. You got your Marusan. You got your stuff from Linda. What else did you pick up?
One more piece.
Oh, yeah.
I tried my best to limit myself because I did have to get some gifts this year and a few things for CJ and some coworkers and stuff, right? So I told myself I can get one more big thing, right? Because again, I knew I would go pretty hard at the M1 table. So the goal from the jump, just so everyone's aware, from the jump was to acquire this piece the second it was announced. Mm-hmm. And then I knew I had a possible avenue, and I said, yes, please. And then we waited for a bit, and I was just like, okay, maybe this might not happen for me. I don't know. Like, let's see if we can get these. And then it happened. G-Fest happened, and I got the Enraku and Saku Space Godzilla. Guys, you've had the Mondo, and it's amazing.
It's amazing.
got a marmot, and that's probably the quintessential, as David Dobko would say, the untouchable, right?
Yeah.
The Neo Player one also on another level.
I don't even we can count that one.
This is in that team, though, of legendary Sofubi pieces that just demand attention and respect. Like, that sounds weird, but it's true, though, man. Like, this is such an amazing toy. Like, the detail, it's...
I think we got to get somebody. I know somebody has them all, but somebody to have the picture of the Enraku, the Neo Player One, the Mondo, and the Marmot all together, and they all they've all have that classic look, right? Like
I think Christine might.
Yeah,
that
so
might be something we look into.
Yeah, because she has the Neo Player One. Obviously, is the trickiest one to acquire.
Dude. Yeah.
But that quartet might be with a single kaiju. I don't know if you can beat that. That would be a great Survivor Series team.
Dude.
Like no weaklings.
Yeah.
That's like if Hogan, Flair, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Andre the Giant were their own team, man. I mean, it'd be freaking amazing. Yes, the Space Godzilla. And I love that Enraku piece. It's wonderful.
Anniversary year, second G-Fest. I honestly don't think I could think of a better piece to cornerstone it with, right?
Space Godzilla year, yeah.
Dude, this is the one. So shout out to Toku Toy Town. Shout out to G-Fest.
Yeah.
And Rocco and Saku. That was it.
One of the things that I did after we were chatting and stuff, this was on Sunday, I think, maybe Saturday. I walked over to our good buddies over at the Last Bastion. They're next to the Seismic, obviously do a lot of cool stuff. And I forgot about that. You got that one. Yes. But one of our good buddies, we talk about a lot, Thirsty Thursday.
It's our dude.
Adam is the man. And I don't collect CCP, but I collect anything Thirsty Thursday does.
Yes.
And so he had, I thought this was so cool, a custom with Last Bastion Studio, a custom CCP painted Gigan that was painted by Chris over at Last Bastion, who we love, Ragnar, and all the other stuff that they do. And so I got number 2 of the Tropical Twist Gigan from Thirsty Thursday Toys. And this will be if he does a whole line of CCP stuff, I'll collect those. But we had to support our boy, and also it's a really great paint job, and I get this cool Thirsty Thursday tag. And for those that do enjoy an adult beverage, and those that enjoy Kaiju and Godzilla and Jurassic Park and Transformers and horror movies and everything, sci-fi movies, and vinyl toys and designer toys, go check out Thirsty Thursday Toys.
Dude,
it's a great YouTube channel. The toy reviews are great. The cocktails are even greater. Adam's a good person. And and now he's doing his own exclusive toys. Amazing.
You love to see it,
But that kind of, what that did was that kind of started, I guess it would have been Saturday, because that started like my last 3 pickups were really that one. And then the last 2, I should say, were from just non-booths. Like there are people that came up, or excuse me, one was from a booth, but like they were not anything that was on my radar. I didn't know Adam was doing that. Easy. And then a young man and his wife or girlfriend came up, and they were chatting. He looked very familiar. He was a great guy, and you were chatting with him, and he was showing you these stuff. And I was kind of catching out of the side of my eye, and I was like, oh, he's showing him some prototypes. This guy's probably an indie toy maker. He's doing some great stuff. I was like, but he looks very familiar. I had no idea he was selling them. And so then he was talking about him. I was like, okay, I'm really interested now, because he starts showing these really cool kind of Pachi style monsters and like very what's kind of like the Budahana style, like very cool stuff. And once again, no idea these were for sale. I'm like, oh, that's cool, man. Awesome. Let us know. Let us know. Can we carry some in the store, And then he pulls out something, and he's like, well, this is kind of, I love Kamen Rider.
The coolest piece he had.
Oh, yeah. And he's like, I love Kamen Rider. This is kind of my ode bug-inspired, bug-centric Henshin heroes. But the colorway and the design is inspired by the Kenner Terminator line, which I remember collecting those toys.
If you want to live.
In my head, man. And so he brings this out, and I was like, oh, that's so cool. Like I was like, whatever. And here it is. Look at this guy. Look at the paint. It is right out of Kenner, but obviously done in his style. And this cool little Kamen Rider guy, Kamen Terminator. And then we were like, okay, you're Video Vomit, right? And he's like, yeah, how'd you know that? And I was like, oh, cool. Obviously I follow him on Instagram, but also like I remember him from the Super Saturday Sofubi Spectacular show a couple years back. So I was like, cool, man. I go, will you let us know when those go on? So he's like, no, I'm selling them now. I'm like, okay, I'll have that one, please. I didn't like just give it to me. Because I had to have this guy.
You did so fast. You were like, cool, bam, done.
Yeah,
Give me that.
Yeah, no thinking needed on that one.
Yeah.
It was this thing is really cool. I mean, the detail on it for kind of a little small, like kind of chibi style. I mean, look at the back. Like you can see the exposed kind of metal skeleton there in the back of the jacket. It's just
so cool.
It's so awesome. So I was really excited to pick that up. And then the last piece was something that I felt almost like early on. I knew this was going to be a purchase we were making. It was kind of like destiny, right? It was kind of whatever. So we're setting up late in the day. We're almost done setting up on Thursday. And a guy comes in with like his roller bags and he's like in panic mode, like, I don't know where to go. I don't know where to go. Can you help me out? I'm like, yeah, sure. Like, and he says vendor. I'm like, cool. You're in our room. And it turns out that he was originally set up in Kaiju Island. And I was like, okay. And so we got him checked in and stuff. And he was the nicest man in the world. And we kept on seeing him and stuff. We figured out it was Michael from Tolzar Toys. And we aware of what they do, King Kaiju and stuff. But, we always happened to be in the same place at the same time. And then really started to just like start looking at his inventory. And the stuff that he does with King Kaiju, it's otherworldly good. And it is like, holy cow. And he's done a lot of stuff. He's worked with Octeal. He's done a collab with him and other people. And he just like, this is something that just needs to be at, you'd see it like 5 Points or Designer Con, but he needed to be at GFest too, because there's some really cool stuff. And eventually by Saturday, he was up in the main toy focused dealer room. And thankfully, but his King Kaiju, his King Kaiju is stunning. And so I picked up one. This was my big purchase for the weekend and couldn't be more happy. Well, I did some trades, but until those come to fruition, I can't show you the goods there. But my biggest purchase, and so this was the one that I picked up from him. So this thing is absolutely gigantic. It's hard to describe this thing. It's a giant crawfish monster. So first off, Tolzar's based in New Orleans. And so you're going to have that Cajun, Creole, voodoo vibe. And having a giant crawfish kaiju, it tracks, right? We need him to fight a alligator, a nutria, something next. But this thing is huge. It's beautifully sculpted, as you can tell. There are so many little pieces. It's hard, like some of like the little things that come out, not the mandibles, but the little like antenna whisker things that come out of it that come at the end. These are beautifully sculpted down to every little detail. How it gets so thin at these points on the feet and everything. They're sharp. I mean, they poke you. Like it is not like rounded off. It is absolutely gorgeous. This thing is translucent with some blue, looks like some blue inner paint. And this thing is jam packed with kind of a metally looking metallic tinsel. The shading and stuff is absolutely gorgeous. I love it. And there were some other ones there that were equally as good and very unique and very different. But this thing came with a whole litany of things. It came in a big crawfish net. You got a little tiny voodoo priestess minifigure. You got buttons and stickers and everything you could ever hope for that you'd get as kind of extras. But even if you didn't get those, this bad boy is. I mean, look at the tail curled in. I mean, this is just. It's a gorgeous piece. Absolutely love it. As he knocked over my microphone twice now. One of my favorites. Oh, I didn't even mention. I'm looking at my pile of stuff. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about this. And so anyway, King Kaiju highlighted my week. Like, I'm a fan. Excited to see what Tolzar does next. I hope we get him to Kaiju Go eventually. Really good. I guess the last toy I got, there were two. Once again, fully unexpected. One, our good buddy Michael, Sweaty Vinyl, hooked me up with the mini Bullmark Anguirus, the old Bullmark sculpt for the Anguirus. I love this guy.
Dude, he always does that. He goes, hey, I got you a buddy or a table buddy present.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
And so Jay and I always get hooked up with something crazy cool, man. Sweaty's the best.
And then the last thing I got, which we were joking about off air. So I won. So Dave Nunez, that runs the vendor room, the dealer room, was chatting up about that he runs the silent auction and the G fans helping G fans thing that's been going on for like decades, and which is awesome. It's for charity. And there's these like party bins and silent auction. So I threw some money down on a silent auction because David informed me, and I said, shame on me for not checking that it was a Koichi Kawakita autographed bag. And I was like, okay, great, I'll put some money down. And he's like, told us the day before, like, people have won this every year. Nobody picks it up. I don't know why. We might know why. So I buy it. I know. I put it down. I didn't think I won. And he tracks me and I say, hey, you won. I'm like, amazing. So we take it home and I'm looking it up and I'm like, huh. I just took him at face value, and I think he might have misspoke, but it's like, this doesn't look right. So I looked it up, and it's definitely not Kawakita's autograph. I mean, his very specific one, and everything that you look at has the same one. It turns out equally as good, maybe better. So it's one of those happy accidents. I got this from the silent auction, this amazing tote bag that is autographed by the late great director of Godzilla vs. Biollante, the director of Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, Kazuki Amori, autograph. Look at this. So cool. I did not have. That's
insanely cool.
Yeah, on my pre-GFest bingo card, I did not have giant kaiju monster. I did not have Thirsty Thursday toys exclusive CCP Gigan. I did not have Kazuki Amori autographed tote bag. I didn't have Kenner Terminator inspired Kamen Rider Chibi vinyl toy from Video Vomit. But guess what? That's why it's freaking great. Is because you get all of that stuff. And that's why GFest is wonderful.
Dude, it's the magic of GFest. I too. So when you were buying that, I was talking to Matthew. I was like, hey bro, I'm gonna buy one of these the second we get home.
Yeah.
And I did.
Oh, yes.
So this guy will be joining my ranks probably Saturday, I think. And
it's big. It's so big. It's so big. I don't know where to put it. Like I really don't.
I'm stoked. So
it's truly, I think, one of the best sculpted things I've seen. The detail is just
high-end art. That's the word I can think of when I'm looking at this thing. I mean, it's next level. And yeah.
So everybody go check out Tolzar Toys. I think it's Tolzar Toy Co. is their handle. Go check them out. But that was, I mean, the vendor room was, I mean, the usual suspects were there bringing the heat, man. It was your vampire robots and their massive collection of X Plus. Of course, Toy Matrix Gary brings so many good stuff. And then a little bit of sad news that we heard that, Diane Doherty, like Linda, one of the originals for Clawmark Toys, is retiring. And that was announced to the dealer room, which is sad. And who knows, maybe somebody else will take over Clawmark. I don't know. But it will be interesting to see what the dealer room feels like without Clawmark there. It's one of those staples, like Toy Matrix, like Chibi Goji Toys, like Vampire Robots, like all these guys. So that was a little bit of sad news.
Yeah, Diane's always been the best, to a lot of people. I mean, so it's an emotional thing for sure, but we'll see what happens next year,
We'll see. We'll see. We'll be back.
There. Yeah.
I mean, I hope they invite us.
That's true.
But then, the other thing, that's really kind of our experience because it was mostly hanging out with friends. And I know we didn't mention we got to hang out with our good friends over at the Monster Movie Fun Time Go podcast, Dom and Hope. And we'll see them at Kaiju Go. They're a sponsor there. Love those guys. They're really, really great. Good to hang out with and see our good friends like Goji Franklin's always a pleasure. Always walking around. I feel like he has multiple bodies because he's somewhere. I mean, he's everywhere all the time. I know. Really cool seeing him and of course the crew over there that works on, I think maybe every podcast in the world, the Elijah Thomas and Danny DeMana, Kaiju Kim, Nathan Marchand, all of them. Was really cool to see them again at GFest. Hopefully they'll be there next year as well. I mean, I can't run panels without Danny and Nathan. They're on so many, and Elijah, they're on all of them. And there's so many people, Chris and George and Rich. I know you've been for a long time. Always great to see them. There was just Greg Fountain and his family brought him in. They're always cool to. It was really cool to see Greg and chat with him. We got to chat a little bit the last day, but he was bouncing around. When you have a young kid, he wants to buy stuff. So I'm sure him and his wife were chasing him around all the time. But that was really cool to see Greg. Just so many Ken. There were just so many people. There's just too many. Many.
Too many. I mean, but like you mentioned, right? Like it's just cool to see all of these people at GFest for even. 10, 15, 20 minutes, but
Appeal, yeah.
multiple times though throughout the weekend, right? That's when it adds up to meaningful impacts, so
For
that's
sure.
always cool.
Well, cool, man. What else? Anything else from G-Fest #2 for you? Anything you're looking forward to next year?
Next year, M1 booth again. Always. That's
Always.
No matter what. That's the first stop. I go over there and pay my respects, and then everything else is just icing on the cake. I mean, Toku Toy Town gonna three-peat? What?
I mean, if they have us back, it'll be great.
Only a few people have won the Royal Rumble 3 times. You know what I'm saying? So this is our chance to try to hear from people like, "Hey, you guys have the best booth. We're so excited to see you," and things like that.
It's very humbling. It's very humbling, and we try hard. I don't know if it's the best. Maybe to some people it's the best booth. We always try to iterate and optimize and make it better. And it's really kind, even if they're just blowing smoke up our backside. It's very cool and very kind of them to say that, and we definitely enjoy it. Next year, I think the biggest thing for me, what I'm really looking forward to the most, or most curious about, is does G-Fest stay in the same place? Does it grow out of it? I don't know. And then who are the guests? I think that's something that'll be cool because you just never know. We're not gonna. I mean, after Godzilla Day, a lot of stuff typically is announced and stuff. I'm curious if that impacts what the vibe might be next year. So I don't know. I'm really excited for that. But to me, it's just really, are they going to be able to fit everybody in that hotel again? I mean, there's the convention center next door.
That's what I mean. If you're to believe any of the rumor mill, that was kind of going on this week, it was like, hey, maybe we need to look at the convention center as a community to host this thing, right? But we're not doing a bid here, guys. There were so many more people than I think we expected, and seeing it visually like that, it was staggering for a little bit there. So it was really cool, though. Don't get me wrong, really cool.
It's a positive thing. It's a positive thing.
Yeah.
It just, you can only fit so many people in a given space. A lot of people. But I think that's gonna be my biggest thing. I'm very curious on that. And and then we didn't even mention one of the big. I forgot. If you were able to go this year, you could see some really cool toys from James Groman. I mean, he was there.
Oh man, that's true.
A stone's throw away from us, and I know he was a big special guest for them and did some panels and such. And that was another cool thing. So they're just always those little. Oh yeah, this person is showing up, and you don't even think about it, and you're there, and you're kind of starstruck. It's like, oh my gosh, that guy's here.
Dude,
yes,
we went 3 days, and I didn't know he was selling toys. I thought he was there just promoting stuff, and I was like, that's so awesome. Yeah. I think you even mentioned, I was like, dude, look, James Groman's just hanging out right there. It was so
hanging
cool.
out. Just hanging out. And that's the other thing, also being next to Linda, is she knows everybody, and everybody comes over to her booth to talk to her.
Even little kids and stuff that are brand new to this. Linda treats them like they're $1 million out of the gate, and it's cool.
It made me think of little kids because this person has kids, though they're not little. Shout out! It was awesome to get to chat with John Drain. We love John.
Yes, John's a homie.
And help me, and they came by when we were before we set up on I think Sunday. And we were able to chat with him without the madness going on. So that was really super fun. And take pictures with those guys. It was cool. And we can't have a G-Fest without Steve-O. Steve-O, if you're out there, we love you, man. We love you.
Love you, brother.
So it was, I mean, I'm sure we're going to stop talking. I'm going to think of 6 other people. It was just a lot in a good way. And so many awesome people.
I mean, 100%. Chris from Seismic came over to the booth and said, what's up? That was really cool of him.
He's a good dude.
Yeah, man. There's just tons and tons of cool people, honestly. So many good experiences. I know I sound like a broken record with this, but it's just such a joy and a privilege to be able to go to stuff like this. So
well, and we hope to see everybody there that listens to this next year, because it'll happen again. It'll be big. Don't miss out. Don't wait till it takes over a whole city and it's like 30,000 people, because the Godzilla and Kaiju genre fandom community is growing exponentially,
at a rapid pace.
And it is such a fun thing. Come hang out with Ryan and I too. It'll be fun. But hey, one thing I'll tease this. You and I we may be able to announce it soon. We'll be road tripping here shortly. So any fans of Toku Toy Town out west, just be on the lookout. We'll have a fun announcement here coming up. We got Kaiju Go in a month. We got that event coming up after that. Next year, we have some big stuff in the works for some other events that we're going to do that are really big before we hit up kind of our base camp, our #1 show, which is gfest, and we'll be talking gfest 2025 before you know it. We had a 15-hour drive on the way back to talk about how we can make the booth and the Toku Toy Town experience even better next year for people. I'm excited if we can bring some of that to fruition, to where like, okay, we're in a good place where it looks, but what other things can we bring that might make it even extra cool to come visit us?
That's what we did this year, right? And I'm not tooting our own horn, but when we were driving back, it was like, what can we do? And you mentioned Archway, and I thought, how can we pull this off though? And then we did, and it's like, okay, Jay, I'm with you, brother. We're doing this. Like,
let's rock and roll, man. So we're gonna try to iterate and optimize, and I don't know. I'm just excited, man. It'll be some really cool stuff for Toku Toy Town. And couldn't do it without you, brother. If that's it, man, we can head out. And I don't know when Jake and I will be chatting again because, as you know, the Tattoo Titan of Tokusatsu is off at San Diego Comic-Con doing stuff. I did talk to somebody. We will be having a guest on soon on YHS on Monster Island. One of our best friends, one of the best artists ever, and it's not Attack Peter because he's been on here. This is a newbie, first time on not Toku Toy Town, first time on YHS on Monster Island. We'll be coming at you. I just chatted with him, and we're working on a date that's gonna be super awesome. I'm so pumped for that one, and then some more exciting news, and drop us a line, say hello, and we'll talk to you guys later. Ryan, any last words? You want to send them out?
Thank you guys for having me. I'm always honored to be on Monster Island. Check out TokuToyTown.com. Check out KaijuGo.com. Get those tickets. We'll see you Saturday, August 17th at the Texas Theater. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you on the flip side.